Good evening and welcome to another edition of Black Press USA and NNPA's Fireside Chat. And I am so excited to talk to our very first guest for tonight's show. He is none other than the president and CEO of Bronner Brothers and also the founder of Upscale Magazine. I want to welcome Bernard Bronner to the show. Good
Welcome. So
evening.
glad to be here.
I am so excited. Now, before we actually went up, lights, camera, and action, I just said you responded so quick to my message. Thank you so much. I am really excited. When I saw that post on LinkedIn that Upscale Magazine is back on the shelves, I had to have you on the show.
Well, we're happy to be here and we're going to have a great time tonight.
So, listen, what was the response like with people hearing and seeing you standing in some store where your book is right behind you, magazine?
On LinkedIn, it has broken all records. As of today, it's approaching 70,000 people viewed it and 2,500 likes. So it's been a phenomenal thing to see so many people and so many supporters, so many people who have partnered with us and worked with us over the years. So happy to see us doing well. And we have great things planned for 2022. COVID slowed us down for 2020 and shut the offices down, but we're back better than ever.
Now, you started this in the late, was it 1980s? Is that when you started the magazine?
Yes.
Can we talk about what was your driving force?
Well, at the time, first of all, let me give you a little history about me and what I've done over the years. I've run for the last 35 years as the second generation of Bronner Brothers, and we're most famous for our big hair shows in Atlanta, the world's largest multicultural beauty show that we hold every 6 months there in Atlanta, and now we're taking it to other cities, the New Orleans. We have one planned for next year in Miami. So we are excited to be on the road and in 2022 back live with the hair shows. But secondly, we're famous now in Atlanta for my brothers being pastors of churches. The Bronner family run 3 churches. We run a mega church that has 25,000 members. Then we have a medium-sized church that has 2,500 members, and then a small church that has 250 members.
Really?
So all of the brothers, I am the only one in the family that's not a minister.
How many brothers are there?
It's 5 of us now, and 4 of them are in the ministries. Because they have become so famous, they put so much pressure on me, and they kept asking me, when are you going to be a minister? And so I do have a title. I'm Minister of Finance. So
okay.
that is the closest. That's the closest I want to come to being a minister. So I'm Minister of Finance and President of Bronner Brothers. So that's my job in the ministry.
Now, your father started this, Nathaniel Bronner Sr., 75 years ago. Can you share that story with us? What you're aware of? How he started this empire.
Well, 75 years ago, him and his brother started Bronner Brothers. They technically were distributors of hair care products. Their sister owned a salon. And in the salon was a sign that said, "Beauty, the depression-proof business." And during those times, those were some pretty depressed times. So during a depression, reading that the beauty business is a depression-proof business made him want to get in it. Again, this is before pandemic time. So now we have a whole new dynamic of pandemic is worse than a depression. So I now are the first generation that have gone through a pandemic with Bronner Brothers and come out stronger than when we went in. So we're keeping the legacy going of how They started the business. At the time, they serviced beauty salons and beauty salons only. And as they serviced the beauty salons, they held little clinics or shows or little demonstrations to teach people how to use those products. Hence birth the Bronner Brothers Beauty Show. And what started out at 50 grew to 100 to 300 to now thousands and thousands of people. And we have kept the tradition going. People come from all over the world in Atlanta to learn how to use products, learn the new products, how to use them. We have over 300 classes training, developing, teaching the same kind of things that my father and his brother taught 75 years ago. On top of the churches and the hair show, we make a lot of products. Our products are the BB family of products, which are BB with a circle around it. And in those BB products, we make African Royale, which is famous for hot 6 oil, the African Royale braid spray. We also do a product, African Royale Tropical Roots. Tropical Roots is it's a product that is now becoming the #1 Caribbean themed product, and it is designed for people with locks, curls, twists, all the new Afrocentric different hairstyles. And then we have our Bronner Brothers Professional, which are only sold to licensed cosmetology and barbers. These you have to buy in a professional salon.
Okay.
So under the BB brand, we've been famous over the years for making #1 products. Right now, we make BB Pump It Up Spritz, and Pump It Up Spritz is the #1 spritz in the world. We also and it's been there. We make the BB foam wrap, which is now it's now #1 in most of the retailers now. We also we've done a lot of things over the days. Probably 20 years ago, we were in the curl business, and we made the Cosmopolitan curls. It was like the Jerry curl and all those things. A lot of people remember me because I wore a curl for 25 years and would not give it up.
Where's the picture? I need the picture. I should have asked you. I should have asked you. My producer needs to try to find that before this. Oh wow. Okay, so you wore it. You are living the life. Okay.
I have lived, and I love the curl. I love the curl. So when it comes back, I will be the first one in line to get a girl.
I love that. So Bernard, what do you say separates because as you know, hair care for African Americans are the biggest consumers, I would assume, when it comes to hair care products. When I see there is, over the last couple of years, there's been conversation about African Americans feeling like they're not being represented when it comes to going to a store that's owned by an African American. What separates your products catered to African American hair from everyone out there that's marketing to African American consumers?
That's a difficult question. The one thing that I know separates my company from other companies is for 75 years, we have been 100% Black owned. We have lived in the community. We have seen what happens in a community. You know, my father taught us at an early age, a community is no better than the people in it. And he taught us we have to help the people. I mean, one of his pet things was he loved to provide jobs for anything. And it was an unspoken rule. If you was a single female Black, you could get a job at Bronner Brothers. He hired and hired and hired. And today, I that is my number one theme. I love providing jobs. I just feel like if a person loses their job, next they're gonna lose their house, then they're gonna lose their car, then the spouse is gonna leave, the kids are gonna leave, and then the dog is gonna leave. You have no income coming in.
Even the dog's gonna go.
Sooner or later, the dog leaves.
So
So
what? No, go ahead.
go
I'm
ahead.
sorry. No, I just want to know what challenges, because you did mention about COVID, and a lot of companies were impacted. And you're right. When it comes to hair care, other than actual hair salons shutting down for safety reasons, people still wanted to get their hair done. So, how did COVID affect your business during the 2.5 years? I know we're still going through it. Don't want to act like we're not, but
Well, COVID shut the hair show down, the live hair show. It also it's also shut the offices down. We couldn't come to work, but for 2 months I couldn't leave my house. So it was the first 2 months in my life that I had never gotten on a plane, had no meetings to go to, nothing to do. So I had never in my life been sitting that still that long. But but we have gotten over it. And we've come back. One thing about beauty is there's always been power in beauty.
mm,
The better something looks, the better it is. Whether it's food, if it looks good, it makes it taste better. So black people, even when we weren't doing good, we were looking good. So the better you look, the better you feel. The better you feel, the better you act. The better you act,
mm,
it just all plays out that when you come in, like I say, Bronner Brothers, we have been a beauty company, and not just on the outside. Because of our religious upbringing, we have been understanding that the first thing you need to do is be beautiful on the inside. So we have, the standing joke is my brothers were saving souls while I was saving hair. So we had a great team and partnership as we went out and we worked in the community. For years, we have participated in so many events. If there's a black sorority, a black fraternity, if there's an organization of nurses, of doctors, of firefighters, we were there at their conventions, giving them hair products, selling them hair products, giving them a magazine. We have been there. We have been sponsors. We have been
mhm.
major donors. We have been anything dealing with the community. We understand that's our base. And the better a people, a better a community. And
So,
we
so good.
still we still live with those guidelines today.
I have a question that's coming in. Bronner Brothers R&B duo, is that a different Bronner Brothers? I think it's a question someone's asking. I'm not sure about.
That's a that's a crazy question. But let
Yeah,
me answer that question. Let me answer that question.
I'm not sure who Bronner Brothers is R&B duo.
Let me explain what happened.
Okay.
Over 30 years ago, me and my oldest brother, Nathaniel, we were running our father's hair care company, and we
Okay.
got kind of bored, and
No,
we
no.
we decided we decided to bring some excitement and life and we went all kind of ways. So we literally bought a recording studio.
No.
We recorded at those times there were albums, and we toured. And
Are you telling me? No, you're kidding. Are you serious right now?
if you go to my post, I posted copies of the album. Oh goodness,
Oh,
take that away. Take that off the screen. Take that off the
I
screen.
have
Oh,
the
take that
best
off the
producer.
screen.
I
Take that
have
off
the
the
best
screen.
producer. Oh my gosh. I love it. I thought you were pulling my leg. But you know what? I love that. And this is why the importance of creating generational wealth, right? It
Yeah,
allows you to dream and dream about anything. You don't put ceilings over your head. You don't think there's anything that you can't do, whether you want to do it for a day or 2 days or longer. That is wow. Okay. All right. So thank you very much for sending me that question. Okay, because I hadn't heard of that. That was a flashback for you too, huh?
Yes.
So with you talking about, Bronner Brothers hair care, which everybody that I know knows who you are. It seems a natural progression to go into a lifestyle magazine that talks about African American people, the culture, fashion. So can we talk about it returning to the shelves? And I believe Brandy is on the cover.
Yes. Like I say, the magazine is over 30 years old now. And I didn't have magazine publishing experience in my background. But what I did have is my father and mother used to run the hair show. And every year during the hair show, they put together the hair show souvenir magazine for the hair show.
Okay.
So watching them at the kitchen table putting that book together, it just got in my soul and said one day I will be putting out a magazine like my parents. But again, everything my parents did, my generation, we were my parents on steroids. So everything they did, we just had to do it much, much bigger. So now Upscale is distributed worldwide. It's like I say, it's going on almost 33 years since we've been doing it. And next year we're gonna really show out. We just getting started now. Like I say, I've got my parents used to teach us that we needed to be prepared for a rainy day. They did not tell us we needed to be prepared for a storm and a tsunami and a pandemic. But we now have been through rainy days, we've been through storm, tsunami, and now pandemic. So we are ready for any and everything.
Now, of course, this platform is NNPA, the National Newspapers Publishers Association and Black Press USA. Over the last 3 to maybe 5 years, there's been a lot of conversation because social media and everything being instant, whether it's a computer, a tablet, or their cellular device, of people shying away from publications and subscriptions. What are you doing to keep people connected? And how important is it that you reach out and tell people you need to sign up, get a subscription?
Well, now that you mentioned the NNPA, the National Association, the National Newspaper
Publishers
Publishers
Association.
Association, I have been to so many of the conferences. Many of them many years I sponsored, and I have worked with you all for so long. My father got a lot of his training by throwing papers, and he made the next generation throw papers. So I threw from the time I learned how to ride my bicycle to the time I went to college. I threw the Atlanta Daily World, which is a long-standing NNPA member.
Wow.
So I have been connected to newspapers all of my life. And again, getting up at 4 and 5 o'clock every morning, throwing papers. And he wanted to train us and teach us. It taught me how to sell subscriptions to the newspaper. It also taught me how to deliver the newspaper. It also taught me how to ring the doorbells and collect my money. So all of those experiences on how to sell, how to deliver, how to service my customers, how to collect my money, I now use for Upscale today, years and years later. But it's been a joy, and as you can tell, me and my family, we love working hard, but we have a great time. So I'll make hair grease, but again, I'll make albums and CDs and
I love it.
and I'm not through yet. I'm gonna come up with more ideas.
So I have something I'd like to suggest to you, and we can talk about it a little bit later. I would love to see an upscale television segment, a lifestyle segment. You and I can talk about that.
Okay.
I can see that. I can see that.
And we're working on that. One of the things that I have been known for is you have to be able to adapt to whatever the circumstances, whatever the environment. So we are now looking at upscale, not just as a print magazine, but we now have it where you can download it on your iPad. We're working on having the best app in the world where you can subscribe, where it will tell you where to go, where it will guide you and it'll be the future. So we're not just looking at this thing is now, we're looking at the future, and whatever directions the future go, we're going to be in that direction going fast.
Well, that's important. So in the latest edition of Upscale magazine, now that it's officially back on the shelves, can you tell us what we can find behind the pages?
It's we got Brandy, who has been a supporter of Bronner Brothers for a long time. She's been to so many of the hair shows. She's performed at the hair show. She's been a guest. She's been like family. And she tells a lot about what's going on now. She has a new television show. So she's not just, she's adapting and changing with the times. So like you recommended Upscale having a television show, she started out in music, now she's in television. So we will basically follow her. And we have several influencers profiled in the magazine. We have, it's been a lifestyle where years and years ago, it was very difficult for us to see our images in a positive light. You had to murder somebody to get media attention. So we are one of the few that have had to turn that around and give people examples, be role models, give them something, give them pages that when they turn the pages to say, I can do this also. So we put a lot of inspiration, we put a lot of motivation through those pages. But
we actually, I know we have a few more minutes with you, but can I just play this clip real quick? My producer's been able to pull it up. There are people that have not heard of the Bronner Brother hair show. I don't know where they were living, but we're going to show you this clip real quick. We're going to come back and find out how we can support you and what you have coming up next. We can play the clip now.
Shows you can go to. There's plenty of kiosks, plenty of products.
And always remember, keep nails in the mix of Bronner Brothers and y'all.
Yes.
Please.
Hey, my name is Dr. Portia. I'm from Philadelphia. I came over down here to just say hello to all my beautiful babes, all my beautiful babes. And you know, it was like, oh,
So I don't know if you felt the energy, but that is just 1% of what you would feel if you're actually there. It is contagious. I love the attitude. I love the fanfare. I love the hair, the clothing. So you said in 2022, it's coming back.
Yes.
So how can we follow you? So for those who aren't following you, how can we follow you and see what's coming up next? How can we support you should we want to read or subscribe to Upscale Magazine?
Okay. My personal Instagram is CEO Bernard Bronner, and on Facebook and LinkedIn, I'm just Bernard Bronner. And then you can follow the company Bronner Brothers on all platforms. And then our website. And you can even download our Bronner Brothers app. So it's going to be very easy in the future to stay connected with us, but we're going to have a great time for 2022.
I want you to know, I think her name is Carol. She said that it's hard finding gray wigs, so I guess she's trying to share something with you. so Carol, you're looking for some gray wigs, okay? She said a message out to you, and you did say that you're going to be expanding beyond Atlanta. You said Texas. I'm sorry, did you say Texas?
We're going to be in Miami for 2022.
Miami. 2022. Miami, you're not ready for this. You are not ready for this. Again, we are so honored to have the president and CEO of Bronner Brothers with us, also the founder of Upscale Magazine, Bernard Bronner. I thank you so very, very much. I look forward to seeing the next edition of Upscale Magazine and just really seeing what you guys do in 2022 as it pertains to the hair show, which is always extravagant.
Thank you so much.
Listen, be blessed. All right, so our next guest, we're going to be talking a little bit, kind of changing gears a little bit here. Our next guest is International Miss USA, Shenetta Malkia, and she's the founder and president and executive director of Empowerment Essence, Inc. Her purpose, she says, is to deal with suicide and anti-bully prevention. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to welcome to you now International Miss USA, Shenetta Malkia.
Good evening. Hi. How are you, Queen? Thank you so very much.
Look at that crown.
Our new crown for 2021. Oh, this is a baby.
Oh my goodness. It turned. Let me see. That is gorgeous. That is gorgeous. So are you coming to the end of your reign?
I have just been crowned. I was just crowned on September 12th of 2021 in New York. So this is brand new for me. I am beyond excited. There's so much ahead. God has moved. There's a grace that God has allowed me to be able to wear this crown and to support our United States and our communities.
So tell us about this particular competition, the International Miss USA.
So International Miss USA is a title, and it's one of 3 titles. So there's International Miss USA, and we just had a new title introduced this year, International Mrs. And so what I love about the International Miss pageant is that it supports women over 26 and above. A lot of people say, well, pageantry after 27 because they're caps. But what I love about the International Miss pageants is that it gives women that opportunity to continue to follow their dreams, purpose, power, empowerment, entrepreneurship, and community. That's what it's all about.
So the competition, do you do the swimsuit? Do you do the questions? What actually takes place?
So this was amazing. So this year we did interviews virtually, which is my favorite part of the competition. It's actually 40% of the pageant. So a lot of people think it's about looks, but what International Miss brings to the table, it's really about empowering your community, entrepreneurship. And so, yes, we go through the interview. I won top score for interview. That was one of my trophies I was excited about. And so that is major for us. And yes, we do evening gown, we do runway, we do swimwear. And at 42 years old now, gracing the runway, it felt amazing.
Yes. Yes. In fact, I think that you said before we actually went live, you actually were on the stage for Bronner Brother at one point, right?
I was. So I did Bronner Brothers in my 20s. I was down in Atlanta. I did the hair show. It was one of the biggest and amazing experiences and opportunities ever. The show was, oh my goodness. Pumping up the spritz. I use it at home. I have it in my bathroom right now.
Listen, once you go, you're going to go back every single year. It is just so much fun, whether you're going to get hair care products. And I really meant what I said. The energy in that place is just everyone. It's a family. You don't even have to know somebody. It's a family, and it's theatrics. It's everything that you're looking for.
It's a little bit of everything. I love it. There's a lot of connections, a lot of empowerment. I know for me, and that was my story, how I got started with bullying is because, and bullying prevention is because I was bullied because of my hair. So I would never, I had the jerry curl, and I actually had the S curl. It wasn't even a jerry curl. I had the S curl, and my hair was really, 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 really short. I had a few bald spots, and I was bullied because of it. So I was bullied from the 5th grade to the 10th grade. I spoke to my counselors about it. I spoke to my teachers about it. And the dismissal of the behavior was insane. It left me feeling less than. It left me feeling very depressed. It left me feeling as though I didn't have any purpose or value, and I did not belong. I was the one that was very tiny. I did not have the brothers and sisters. I did not have the clothes that everybody had. I definitely didn't have the shoes. The kids probably would have been like, what are those? And my clothes, my mom made my clothes, a lot of my clothes, and I just didn't have the labels. And so going to school and being picked on every single day, I was thrown in a creek. I was thrown in a swimming pool. My bullies, when I tell you, Taylor, I was maybe 105 pounds, if that. My bullies were 6'3" and 6'5", and they had to be over 140. So sitting here today as your International Miss USA was not a dream of mine. It was not something that I thought I could do. They snatched that from me very early. And that's why we started Empowerment Essence. Empowerment Essence is my nonprofit. I started in 2014, and that was during my reign as Ms. Maryland, United States. And so I reached out to quite a few large organizations that were working with suicide prevention. I had just lost my best friend, Gia Alamar, to suicide from The Bachelor. And I needed to get back into giving. I needed to do something else.
So, Shenetta, you said from 5th grade to 10th grade. And at what point, I mean, if you're being bullied for that long period of time, did it not cross your mind in which to end things, or I wish I wasn't here? How did you get through that if you went through that?
Going through the bullying during that time, suicide was not a thought of mine at that time. At that time, I just wanted to ball up in a little ball and hide in a closet. I didn't want to come out unless I had to come out. I did not have many friends. I stayed alone quite a bit. I went through different changes and trying to change myself to fit in with different groups so I would be accepted. It was the most traumatic time of my life. For most kids, they could go to school and they develop friendships and they have individuals that care about them and they grow up together. I didn't have that. So it's really been me and my family. My mom used to tell me, you don't need any other friends other than me. And that just wasn't enough. So I would say that I started acting out, Taylor. I became very angry. And so that was the purpose of me starting these bullying programs and bullying prevention programs with Empowerment Essence. I developed an anger. I became very angry. I became very violent. I started misbehaving in school. I stopped doing work. I stopped going to school. I started skipping school. I didn't want to get jumped coming home from school, trying to run through a parking lot, trying to get home. My worst attack, I was on Riverdale Road right here in Maryland, and I was smacked in front of a police station. And my bully at that time was following the instructions of her bullies. And she was told if she did not slap me, that they were going to slap her. A police officer sat in the parking lot and did nothing. I went home and I literally had 2 more blocks to make it home, and I didn't make it home. I was then jumped later in my community, and it's only because I wasn't fighting back. I wasn't speaking up for myself. I didn't have a voice. And so what I encourage every individual, any youth, because bullying doesn't just happen at the age of a youth, it happens in our teens, it happens in our adult years as well. It happens in the workplace. It happens in our politics. you know? And so what I apologize to so many of our youth, because the example that's needed is missing, you know, from the entertainment to just everyday life. Our youth are mirroring what they've seen. And so that's what they did to me. And so I wound up going into group homes. I wind up going through different behavioral issues, going to counseling. My first bullying incident was when I was in the 2nd or 3rd grade. I was at a bus stop and I told this young man to stop picking on me. And he wouldn't stop picking on me. And I told him, and I said, if you don't stop picking on me, I'm going to hurt you. And I brought something to school to hurt him. And I got in trouble. But nobody ever asked me what was the root of this. They only, I would say, they reprimanded me because of my behavior, but nobody asked me what was the cause. A child doesn't just become violent. When we're born, we're not angry. When we're born, we just want everybody to love us. We're smiling, we're happy. As we start growing, incidents in life happen. Treatments happen, life happens, and it changes our perception. So that's what happened to me growing up. And I would say the spiral didn't happen until I was in my mid-20s.
Shenetta, so what are some telltale signs that if anyone's tuning in now, and I love how you did the gamut, whether you're young or old, there are still some telltale signs. Can you give us maybe 3 to 4 telltale signs that maybe parents or guardians may not recognize, or teachers for that matter?
My first sign for my teachers, because I've been told by a couple of teachers that, Shenetta, we have over 30 children in our classrooms. If one child is having an incident, we always can address it. So my first recommendation for all school officials and teachers is to listen and to pay attention. I realize that you have a lot on your plate, but one life lost because of bullying, because bullying does lead to suicide, they are relatable, is more than enough. I'm going to ask our parents to pay attention to their kids withdrawing. If you had a child that was active, or you had a child that was just starting to ask questions about activities or starting to explore different opportunities or different sports or different programs, and then all of a sudden they pull back, ask the question. If a child is not going to school, you think that they're just skipping school because they don't want to go, ask the question. 160,000 youth miss school every single year because they've been bullied and they're scared to go. I ask that our school officials, when you're thinking about reprimanding our parents, because I've had parents that I've had to coach and work with that have been threatened to have their CPS called on them because they're not having their child to go to school when they're going to the schools and begging the counselors and the teachers to help keep their child safe. I'm asking you to take off your mask, and I'm asking individuals to go deeper and understand. I'm asking parents to think about their kids when they're coming home and their book bags are torn or their clothes are torn. Some kids where their hair is cut. For me, again, I was thrown in a creek. I was a latchkey kid. My mom worked 2 jobs, so I didn't have anybody to go home to and tell. And when I was able to tell, because I was so embarrassed, my mom was there. I will say that for our youth, I ask that you speak up. These videos that go viral from the different attacks, I think that individuals should be held accountable. I'm asking individuals to take a stand and to speak up for something that is wrong. I'm asking individuals to become bully busters. And bully busters are those that care about everybody. It's about inclusion. Nobody should be in pain alone. Nobody should have to go to school and worry about making it home. We have a lot that we're dealing with in our society. Our youth are our next generation. I never thought that I would own my own company. I never thought I would sit as your International Ms. USA, all because my dreams and my hopes were snatched from me at a very young age. And I didn't start getting my light back until my mid-20s, early 30s.
So, Shenetta, you have a personal story. You mentioned it as we began our interview. You have a friend who actually took her life.
Yes. Gia Alamat was a friend, a very close friend. We started modeling together with a company called Miss Red Hot. We traveled the world. We've done quite a few events together. And Gia made it. She followed her dreams and she made it to The Bachelor and she was living life. when I found out that we lost Gia to suicide. And the reason I say lost, and I encourage everybody not to say that somebody's committed suicide, because nobody's committed a crime. Somebody has died by suicide or completed a suicide. I was broken. I didn't know my friend was going through what she was going through on the inside. And you can have the conversations, you can laugh and you can joke. I was really good at wearing a mask. My family didn't find out about my suicide attempt until I won the title of Ms. Maryland, United States, when I started my organization, Empowerment Essence. It's something that is scary to talk about. There's stigmas that are surrounding mental health, bullying, suicide. And as much as I wanted to continue to cover, I couldn't. I needed to heal. And for me, I didn't have the insurance. I didn't have the resources. It's not spoken about in school. You know, we talk about drugs and sex education, and now we're starting to have a more fluent conversation about mental health, but it's not starting in the schools. You know, talking to our children about coping. A lot of our adults still haven't learned how to cope with situations. They're still blowing up. So we're expecting our youth to do things that are not modeled for them. You know, the behaviors, just the talking about things, the memes that everybody, you see those going around and everybody cracks up about them. But somebody's hurting behind that. And it's sad.
Now, this week on Capitol Hill, I'm sure you've heard about it, and I'm sure you're very aware of what's been going on as it pertains to Facebook and Mark Zuckerberg, and the fact of the algorithms. If somebody's dealing with bullying or dealing with anorexia, that the algorithms will start sending them things that could put them further and further and deeper into depression. What are your thoughts about social media as it pertains to issues like bullying and suicide?
I think that the social media platforms have a great responsibility to report information. I think the algorithms that push things in our face, and I turned off all my notifications. I just had to, because it's too much. The brain can only take but so much. And when you're constantly already, if you're an individual that has been depressed, and I've been depressed, and when you're depressed, sometimes you only can pick your head up for a little bit and you want to lay back down. The algorithms that continually send things to you in regard to memes and posts about beauty, not about health, not about coping, I think that they can change it. So if you see somebody posting signs for help, and I've seen it and I've reached out, I think that Facebook and all the other platforms connect them with organizations. There are multiple grassroots organizations that are there to help, but I think that they have that responsibility, and they can help and do much more. They stop posts, they block posts. I've had my posts blocked, during the election time, and you post certain things so they can stop those things, and they can stop pushing negative things into a person's face. Start sending them. So if you see a person is posting about depression, start putting things in front of them about hope. Yes, you matter. Yes, you can overcome. Don't let today be the end. The trouble that we're facing today is not the same tomorrow. Grace is sufficient. There's so much that we can give an individual in need, opposed to continually putting the negative in front of them. We put memes up, and these videos that go viral again, and I got to stress about them, because those videos don't go anywhere. And if you go through a bullying incident as a child and as a teen, you're still dealing with it as an adult. If you haven't healed from it, if you haven't even spoken about it. I talk to adults today that say, Shenetta, I still remember my bullies. And I ask everybody right now, and if you tell me, because I've had some people tell me, Taylor, that kids will be kids. I'm sure you've heard that.
Yes,
I ask you to think about the most traumatizing incident that has ever happened to you in your life. Just close your eyes and think about it real quick. Just going to take a second. You got it. You can see their faces. You know exactly what happened. It's like you're right back there in that moment. I'm asking you to please have a heart, to please have understanding, and to please make sure that you know that everybody is valuable, regardless of the differences. I'm asking you to help somebody else in need. And I'm asking you to take the stigmas and the judgments away so some people can reach out for help. Because within the Black community, counseling is a no-no. That's the way it's what happens in this house stays in this house. And it's time for things that's happening in the house to not stay in the house and to reach out for help. I go to counseling. It's a help for me. It's to keep me balanced. It's to help me be able to speak about things and work through things. we have to take the time to take care of ourselves and do the things that are necessary.
I think it's so important, the message that you're sharing. You know, as a kid growing up, I was the person who was if I saw something going wrong, fortunately I wasn't in traumatic situations where I saw, but if I saw someone being treated wrong, I either one, didn't participate, or two, I was there to be it. There was something about me that always felt like I can't let them feel like they're alone. So I commend people like you. I think that is horrific, what you went through. I cannot imagine. I don't even know how you could do your studies if you're worried about at the end of school or lunchtime or recess of being taunted and tortured in a sense. You have a session coming up. Can we talk about your anti-bullying session, where it will take place, when, where, how?
Yeah, so every year, this is our 5th year. It's our 5th annual anti-bullying conference. It's called Bully Free Beautiful Me. And this year, our theme is I know who I am because I know who I'm not. And so this year, what we're doing is, and one of the things that bothered me as a child is I didn't feel like I had an identity. I didn't know my value. I didn't know my gifts. And even as a youth, we have those. Our youth have so many gifts, so much value, so much to give us. And so we're doing this Saturday, October 9th, this Saturday. Wow, in 2 days, literally.
Yes,
It's
around
here.
the
I've
corner.
been moving. And so we're doing it virtually. We're doing it virtually again because of COVID. I want to make sure our youth are safe. So you can actually go to Eventbrite and look up Bully Free Beautiful Me 2021, and it will be there. You can register. We're going to be on Zoom. We're giving a Gucci bag away. So one of the things I told you, I didn't have any labels or designers growing up. I was wearing the hand-me-downs and I was at the thrift stores. Rave was one of my favorite stores when I was a youth. But so I am giving something to the youth that I never had. And we have this amazing Gucci book bag that we're giving away to our youth this Saturday. We're introducing our new clothing line. It's called the Empowered Life clothing line. So we're going to be selling our new sweatshirts. It'll be on our website, Empowerment Essence. So we're going to introduce that this weekend. And it's going to be amazing. Again, it's virtual. So please sign up, share it with your friends. And we're going to be speaking about what the signs are for bullying, how to overcome bullying, how to actually report bullying, because in Maryland and most states, there are laws in place that are for bullying. So in Maryland, we have Grace's Law, and then we have Grace's Law Part 2, because we had a teenager, Grace, that took her life by suicide because of bullying. And so this is something that we will continue to do. We are going to make sure when we can get back to person, we're going to come together and we're going to continue to grow. We want to take this on tour. So we would love to come to your state and to your community and bring this to you. We have some amazing guest speakers. And I am just excited about this Saturday and everything else that is to come for our youth.
Janetta, this is exciting. And I actually think the virtual may be a benefit, right? Because now you don't have to drive to a place where people will know that you're being, as a first step, okay? As a first step, right? Mom doesn't have to drive you, dad, aunt, grandmother, they don't have to drive you. You can be one-on-one and see what's going on and get the information you need. And then after that, set up whether it's with a parent or a counselor there, and then talk one-on-one. But I think this is great, because some kids may not even be talking to their parents or their guardians about what they're going through. You just said that.
And I love it. So what we do for Bully Free Beautiful Me, which I love about doing it virtually, is that it allows our youth to keep their cameras off. So you don't have to come on camera. And that's important because, again, it's very embarrassing sometimes when you're first speaking about it. But when you have a community that has been there together, that have gone through these type of traumatic activities, you get through it. It's easier to get through it. When you have a group of individuals that will accept you and you can talk about what you've gone through, and they give you the tips and the tools on overcoming it, because you never let it go. What you learn is you heal, and you learn how to live anew despite what they said about you, because they'll say everything about you, but that's not who you are. They'll say that you can't become a model, an actress. They'll say you can't become a CEO. They say that you can't come out of poverty. They say so many negative things. But I'm a living example that grace is sufficient, because I've overcome everything that they told me I could not. And today I sit here because of the grace of God, and I'm thankful. Hold on.
So, Shenetta, can you tell us about a story? I'm sure since you've been on the platform and you've been in so many pageants and your campaign is on suicide prevention and anti-bullying. Can you share a story of someone telling you thank you for sharing your truth?
My most recent story, and that is our Bully Buster recipient, because we give out Bully Buster awards as well. So we'll start that up in 2022 again. But Camilla Penn, she was a student at Ballou High School. We actually gave her the Bully Buster Ambassador Award in 2015. Her story was my story. And if you go to our website or any of our social media empowerment essence, you'll see her testimony. Camilla was bullied because of her hair, as I was. And Camilla, she bottled everything in and she shut down. But I thank her for taking the time to speak up to her mom and her mom listening to her and being her advocate. She has overcome the bullying. She has become an advocate for bullying. She has graduated from Ballou High School. I am ecstatic. And what she said to me was, thank you for caring and thank you for being here. Because again, as a mom, as a grandma, as a business owner, as an individual just trying to make it through each and every day, there's so many things that we face that we don't talk about. But that's what depression comes from, because we have so many things piling up. So I encourage everybody to talk. I encourage you that if you are having suicidal thoughts, that you're not alone. It's okay to not be okay, but I don't want you to not be okay alone. The National Suicide Prevention Hotline number is 1-800-273-TALK. And I need you to use that if you're going through anything. I say the shadows to one person are the monsters to another. So don't face your monsters alone.
Now, again, your event is this weekend. Where do they go to get more information? What time does it start as well?
Yes, so the Bully Free Beautiful Me 2021 is going to be this Saturday, October 9th at 11:30 a.m. You're going to go to Eventbrite and you're going to sign up there. You can go to Empowerment Essence, our Facebook page, sign up there. You can go to Empowerment Essence, our IG page, and sign up there. Please join us for Bully Free Beautiful Me. And after that, adults, we have something for you too. We're heading to St. Lucia for New Year's. We leave December 29th and we'll have Crown Check 1212 on January 3rd.
What, St. Lucia? Okay, so
yes.
I'm sorry. Explain that to me. So, okay, other than the beautiful island, that'll make anyone be loving to somebody. So tell me, how did you get there?
So we started that last year. We started Crown Check 1212 for our women for 18 and above. And so each year for the next 5 years, we'll go to an island and we'll spend the New Year's there. We'll do a mental health rewind and retreat at the actual resort. So we're doing this virtual again. You can actually join us virtually if you can't be with us in St. Lucia. Everybody can't make it to St. Lucia right now, but join us virtually. You can visit Eventbrite as well as empowermentessence.org to actually get that information as well. And yeah, we're excited. We have quite a few events. We're always doing anti-bullying suicide prevention conferences. I'm a former commissioner for Maryland's Governor's Commission for Suicide Prevention. And this is my purpose, to make sure individuals are not hurting and in pain alone. I want you to live and live with purpose.
So is there a cost? I mean, I know sometimes these kids, if they hear this program, they may not have resources to be able to do it. So is it, I know it's open to the public, but is there a cost for it?
No, registration is free. We ask that anybody can make a donation. I keep the events free because, again, that was one of the things that I had to deal with as a youth. I didn't have money to attend a lot of events. And so a lot of our events that we do are free for our youth. We'll also be having a casting call because we're going to do our second PSA. So all of this, we're going to go over at Bully Free Beautiful Me. I really hope to see you all there. And I'm crazy excited. I have a book that's coming out soon, and that'll be released. So that's called Dear Broken Girl. I'm a contributing author for the Fearless Women Rock Project with Dr. Misty Johnson. And so that'll be coming out this year. Please look for that. It'll be dearbrokengirl.com. And the last thing that I'm working on for this year right now is I have a new film that I have the principal role in, Tried by Fire. And that is with Broadwell Films. And so we're filming that starting in November.
But your background is actually real estate, right?
My background is real estate. And so I've done entertainment. I've been an actress and a model for a number of years, but real estate is my baby. So I'm the CEO of the PMs of the City. We're a full service property management firm here in Maryland and DC. So yeah, that's my baby. That's not everything mental health, it's everything real estate. And when it's not those two, I'm in the entertainment community. I am
Live your
living a
best
life that I never thought I could live, Taylor. Never thought I could live.
I'm going to ask my producer to bring you full screen, and I want you to speak to two people, right, separately. I want you to speak to the child that may be watching today and may be bullied, and I want you to speak to an adult who's gone through bullying. Maybe they're going through something in their work environment. I want you to speak to them. We're going to bring you full screen.
My beloved kings and queens, I know that you're facing a lot right now, and you may feel like you don't have anybody to talk to. But I want you to know that the things that you're facing today, you're not alone. I've been through quite a bit, and I thank God that I'm still here. I want you to know that the things that are spoken over you are not always true. I want you to know that your tomorrow is brighter and bigger. I want you to know that you don't have to be small. I don't want you to hide behind any mask. I want you to stay true to yourself and be your genuine self. I also want you to stand up for yourself and speak up for yourself. You are valuable. You bring so much to the table. You have so much to give to life. No one should make you feel less than. You matter to life. You have purpose. And I want you to know that you have a sister and someone you can rely on in me. If you need help reporting anything or you need somebody to talk to, please reach out to a close adult, a parent figure, a mentor, or send us a message at empowermentessence.org. Let's work through this together. You're not alone. Now, to my big kings and queens. Work is serious. Yeah, Taylor, work is serious. A little bit different. Workplace is a little bit different. If you have somebody in your workplace that's making it hard for you to do your job, if you're at the water cooler and you're making people feel less than, and you're intimidating them or speaking rudely to them or making them feel as that they're less than and they do not matter, I ask that you stop. I'm not sure what you've experienced and what people have done to you to make you feel as though it's okay to bully another individual. But bullying is not okay on any level. Repeated activities to make someone feel as though you're powerful and you are it is not the way. I ask that you heal so that you can build positive relationships and allow individuals to work in a balanced environment. Thank you.
Now, I know that you have to have a part of you because bullying has been going on for as long as there's been humans on Earth, right? But it seems like in the last maybe 5 years, the country has stopped to say, listen, this is taking lives. I know that you must be happy to see that there's some change. I am really glad to know that you are working tirelessly here in the DMV. And I know that if someone asks you to come to their city, you'll go there too. As we close out, because this has been a phenomenal interview and it's such an important thing to talk about, to remove the stigma, to let people know, adults and children know there's help out there. Once again, how can people follow you and get more information if they find themselves or someone they know in either one of these situations, bullying or possible suicide?
Yes. So you can follow myself, Shenetta Malkia, on all platforms, Facebook, IG, LinkedIn, and Twitter. Empowerment Essence, you can follow on Facebook, Twitter, and Facebook and Twitter for Empowerment Essence. The PMs of the City, you can follow on Facebook as well as IG. You can sign up to become a bully buster at empowermentessence.org. If you need information in regard to rental assistance, if you are facing eviction in DC or Maryland area, visit the pmsofthecity.com, send us a message. Let's get you some rental assistance. If you are going through anything, please, if you are in crisis, 1-800-273-TALK. I need you to talk it out. And just a quick message for our men, because you don't get a chance to talk a whole lot. Kings, we need you. You are the backbone for our communities. You have a lot on your plate. You carry a lot. I'm asking that you talk. Start the conversation. Have that conversation because you matter just as the women matter. And a lot of times we don't hear from you and we want to hear more from you. So please reach out for help.
So now, if you didn't know why she won International Miss USA, Shenetta Malkia, you know why now. Again, you have been a phenomenal guest here. I thank you so much. You have the support of the world behind you with families, and we wish you much success for this weekend's conference.
Thank you so much. It's been a pleasure. Thank you all. Continue to take care of yourselves and give some love to somebody else, because a smile and a hug is very much needed.
All right, well, that'll do it for today's edition of Black Press and NNPA's Fireside Chat with your host, Taylor Thomas. Until next week, God bless and goodbye.